Hello there, I'm Ali Umar Ahmer, and this is my midterm project for STS. For my creative video, I wanted to talk about the discrimination against women in science as a whole. Uh, I want this to be comedic, but I also want this to be informative. So I couldn't get any actors, so I got me and me. Though, yes, they aren't women, and I want to help portray a comedic effect. The, I don't intend to have any malicious intent with my depictions here other than comedy in itself. Um, which is why I won't be acting in a certain feminine way or talking in a feminine voice. Is the wigs are there basically to help differentiate between my characters. Our first woman of science goes by the name of Cecilia Payne Gaposchkin. Though in the end of her life she did become a professor at Harvard, that wasn't always the case. In 1923, they traveled from Britain to the United States for a fellowship in Harvard College University in Cambridge. By 1925, Payne had realized in her research that the sun was made of ionized helium and hydrogen, but was dissuaded from publishing her findings by the astronomer Henry Norris Russell. Henry Russell, around 4 years later, saw that she was correct in her findings and made his own publication, with a small credit given to her. Though throughout the entire endeavor, after the publication, he was the one majorly credited for the findings, even though there were Payne's. She was eventually given credit for her work later in her life and became a professor in Harvard in 1956. Payne retired in 1966, to which she wrote her autobiography talking about her experiences in the scientific world. After Payne got her recognition, even though I don't condone violence in any shape or form, this should have happened.
What's up? Oh God. You sitting there throwing my paper around? Huh? Put your paws up. No, but put your paws up.
Our second woman scientist is Esther Letterberg, who is best known for their research on the lambda bacteriophage, a virus that infects bacteria in 1951. Or well, she should have been. Letterberg worked alongside her husband Joshua Letterberg on the discovery of replica plating. This finding led to Joshua, along with George Beadle and Edward Tantum, to get a Nobel Prize in 1958. While the men were getting awards, Letterberg was even having trouble being appointed research associate, as Stanley Falkow points out in Esther's memorial service. If that's not discrimination, I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes.
What are you doing? I'm supposed to be there.
Sorry. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. I did so well. I deserve all of this. It was me. I did all this.
Jean Cheong-Wu is the third person on our list that had fallen to the Matilda effect. Wu was a prominent scientist in the Manhattan Project during World War II, focusing on radiation detectors, helping with many problems like the one with the B reactor having poisoning from xenon-15. After the war, she began studying beta decay and soon became an expert on it. Due to her expertise, she was approached by two men, Sung Dao Li and Shi Ning Yen, to help prove their theory that the law of conservation of parity did not hold true during beta decay. Wu experimented and proved their theory, which led to Li and Yen getting the 1957 Nobel Prize in Physics, whilst Wu wouldn't be acknowledged at all. Later in life, she would write a book called Beta Decay in 1965, which is still being used as a reference to this day. Lisa Meitner was another scientist from the 20th century that was not as discriminated against the others, as I mentioned earlier, but still discriminated against nonetheless. Meitner, along with Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann, discovered nuclear fission around the late 1930s to early 1940s. Hahn and Strassmann were both awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1944, while Meitner was deemed the Woman of the Year 2 years later on a trip to the United States by a newspaper. All the work that she'd done with these people. Like, she worked alongside them, figuring out the intricacies and helped to find so much useful material was completely written out. Women are constantly being downplayed in our history, and it's on us as a society to help progress and make better things going into the future. Sexism is still prevalent to this day. Even with the advancements as women being lecturers and being prominent scientists, we still need to be better as a society, and men especially, to give them the rights, the basic rights that they deserve. Stop being sexist. Goodbye.